Hello there. So welcome back to a new video. Today we're looking at something, it wasn't something I really planned, but I feel that there's a lot of people that may be looking at these thinking, oh, we need to like look up these and research them, see if they're worth buying. And these are Editor's keyboard covers. Now, they do a massive range of different ones for Premiere Pro. There's Audition, there's Final Cut, there's Photoshop, there's After Effects, there's ones for all your like Pro Tools. I think there's one for that. Basically, all the main pieces of software that anyone uses, there's these kind of covers for them. Now, what they do, we've got two different variants. So the one on the top is literally just a nice stretchy rubber one, and it just sits across a pre-existing Apple keyboard. Now, you can also get ones for the MacBook Pro, which is just here. I do actually have one for that, but I couldn't find it in time to do this video, which was a little bit annoying because I wanted to show you it actually on there. But that was the first one I actually bought, was for my MacBook years ago now, probably 5 years ago now, I'm guessing, just when I started to use Premiere Pro. And I literally just used it religiously. If you're learning a new piece of software, it's the best thing you can do for your keyboard. Now, you might be saying, oh, I don't have a MacBook, or I don't have an Apple keyboard. Well, they also do these. This is one of the, I think it was one of the very first ones they did, which is the Premiere Pro Backlit Keyboard, which is literally made by them. So you don't have to buy, you know, the Apple keyboard and then a cover for it. You can literally buy the whole thing in the style of software you want. So, you know, this is obviously going to be Premiere Pro. It's had quite a lot of use, and I literally kept it as it was out of the box, so you could get an idea of, you know, you could see that it's been used, and it does need a clean, admittedly. But I just wanted to make this for anyone that's kind of a little bit dubious on getting these covers, because some of them do look expensive. You can think, well, that seems a little bit steep for what it is. But I just wanted to give you an idea of, you know, what you could expect from these covers. Now, also the good thing about these ones is they're literally washable, so you can just bung them in your sink and give them a wash off. Obviously, it does protect from your spills as well. But I can show you just at this how this one works, because I can, obviously the start of the keys do match up. So it also obviously acts as protection for if you're using drinks near your MacBook and you spill onto it, which is possibly the most horrific thought that you could have when using a MacBook or something, that you could spill a drink on it and you just kill hundreds and, well, thousands of dollars of hardware just like that. Another thing also, it makes it just great for just general use, keeps the keys nice and clean. And then if you're doing anything when you're maybe at an event or something, you're doing some CES coverage or anything like that, it's also good because you can just obviously just protect it from any, if you're outside, any grass or dirt and stuff like that as well. So another benefit there, it acts as a protector for the keyboard, not just helps you edit or, you know, use your audio software or anything like that. So I'm going to go in a little bit, just so I can give you a little bit of a better look on what kind of keys you could actually expect. So this one's the Premiere Pro, so obviously bear in mind it will be different for what you're using. Now, so you got obviously your standard numbers, so you can see what you're going to be typing should you be emailing or doing Skype or anything like that while you're using your laptop, your cover or your keyboard. And then you've got all your modifiers on there as well. Then you've also got the additional ones that you'd use from Control, your command options as well. So for example, Control B would be a new bin in Premiere Pro. Should you be using it on the Windows variant of their backlit keyboard, then that will act as Control. So you still retain, you know, it gives you the information, and you retain the normal modifiers as well as having the additional ones that are Premiere Pro based. So copy, paste, undo, you know, save, which is used for a lot of things, not just that software. So it does give you all of your normal modifiers written on there as well. Now, one thing that is different on this keyboard to what you'd get if you buy one now, because they're newer, is these ones don't have quite the detail that they do now. So they have changed the layouts a little bit. There's much more descriptive keys on the ones you buy on their website than this one, which was one of the very first that were made. So something to bear in mind if you do look to get one yourself. Then the other thing to note is this is a backlit keyboard, as I did say, so pressing the scroll up will enable that. Now you can't really tell quite how well it's doing on camera, but it's certainly enough to be editing at night and, you know, being able to see your keys nice and vividly so you can see what you're doing in the dark. One thing also to remember is on the website, the newer ones, you have 3 stages of backlighting, not just one, but this was, as I said, one of the very first ones that they brought out, so it was a kind of there's been like different generations since then, so it's something else to consider. But they certainly do make your life a lot easier if you know, learning a new piece of software is the best use scenario for these, I find. It did help me speed up the learning process a lot quicker. I went from Sony Vegas to Premiere Pro, and that was one of the most probably vast differences, because on Vegas you just drag things over each other, whereas on Premiere Pro you have to, like, you know, drag the clips to the ends and the starts, and you can't just pull off the volume to fade it out. You have to put a transition on it, and learning all those little things are a lot easier when using these in conjunction with the rubber keyboard covers as well. I did split between what I was using. I'd use this sometimes, but then I'd go back to the Apple keyboard just because I like the keys, then put the full size rubber one on it. But they're both very nice to type on, and obviously Apple keyboards are great for typing anyway, but this has a very similar feel to an Apple keyboard, but it obviously has the backlighting, whereas the Apple keyboard doesn't. So that's one benefit of using these. Obviously comes in black. It won't be quite so grubby as this one, but it has had quite a lot of use on this one. And obviously you get the 3 stages of backlighting, more descriptive keys on there as well. But I just wanted to give you guys my opinion on these things, because I think they're absolutely great. They are a little bit expensive for what they are for some of them, especially when I bought them a few years back. They may be cheaper now, but they're certainly a worthy investment. So it's currently $27.99 for the covers, which are these ones here. You know, that can be a little bit expensive, especially people that are starting out. You've just started paying for Adobe software, which is expensive anyway, and then you're paying pretty much just over half of the monthly package price again if you get the master suite for one of these. But I think it is something that's definitely worth paying for. It does teach you things a lot faster, and then you'll just find you're pressing the keys without thinking about them. You'll just get used to where they are on the keyboard, and then you won't really have to look anymore, which is nice as well. So you'll just get that kind of muscle memory of where things are, and it certainly speeds up the process. So definitely would recommend these to anyone that is wondering or umming and ahhing about getting one. The actual keyboards that are already backlit and all that jazz are currently $99.99. They've actually done it into categories now, which is a lot nicer. Before, when I ordered mine, they had all the different video ones on one page, all the different audio ones on another, which was quite confusing. But they've cleaned up the website now so it's not more fluid. You can just kind of drop down the video, and then it brings out a section that shows you all the different pieces of software. Then you go into that and find what you want, which is a lot better. They also do have a slimline version as well that isn't backlit. Should you want something that's just nice, and it's just a nice black, matte black color, with obviously the shortcuts written on as well, which is nice. So that's another addition. I haven't actually looked at one of those myself, but a little bit different, and it does look quite nice on there as well. So they're just giving you a few more options there. So all in all, good bits of kit, well worth the investments, and I'll put all the links and stuff down below if you want to get one. So I hope you all enjoyed this video. I know it's not really what I'd usually do, but I just think these things are great, and they have helped me with a lot of editing, and, you know, brought that time down that I spend, and learning things just was so much easier when I had one of these. So I thought you guys might like to just hopefully answer any questions from this video that you may have had. If you've got any more, please leave them in the comments and I'll get back to you and just answer those. But I really do think they are great and well worth the investment. So yeah, all the links you need for these will be in the description box below if you want to get one. Thank you for Editor's Keys for sending this one out for me a long time ago. And then, yeah, all these things have been good investments. So thank you everyone for watching. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing. Check out my social media below, and I'll see you all in the next one. Jordan out. This recorder, it takes so long when you put the memory card in for it to work. So that's what we're waiting for right now. Probably should pause that because that's copyrighted, and don't get me started about copyright. Main review.